such a strong all-around player that I'm really excited for the high-level Yu-Gi-Oh! We're going to watch today.
Yeah, exactly that. And Nico is also going to be quite interesting to see this one come down because try and think of the momentum shift you're going to get as well.
Yep.
So you are facing one of the top duelists of the season.
Yes.
And if you are able to take the duel away from him, and it looks unfortunately like Jordan may have slightly not opened up the most ideal hand here, being able to set one and having to pass to Nico. But the one thing you need to consider with Malice right now is their consistency is a bit key. And if you're going to start off with any card you can choose, Gold Sarcophagus is definitely one you're going to want to look for. So this is going to be able to banish a Malice monster directly from the deck. Technically, you can banish any monster you choose, but I'll be very surprised if he banishes something that is not a Malice monster. And then paying a very small sum of life points, we're going to be trying to get direct access to Dormouse here, which will pretty much start the entire Malice engine rolling.
Exactly. I think Dormouse is always your choice here, right? It is the best card, I won't say in the main deck, really, but just for enabling all of the plays that you want to be really doing. Ooh. And you can see Jordan going there with Fallen and the Virtuous, instantly trying to remove that from the field.
Yeah, exactly that. Jordan, as we've already mentioned, is a well-accomplished duelist. He knows exactly not to let this Malice resolve his effects. It's going to be interesting if Nico has any response here, but it doesn't look like the case. And what I really love about the Fallen and Virtuous, not only is the artwork amazing, not only did it come in probably one of the best decks I've seen for a long, long time in the Fallen and the Virtuous All Foil Edition Chronicles deck, but it also lets you send Albion from the extra deck, which sets you up with future resource by being able to get you access to a second Fallen and the Virtuous directly from the deck during the end phase, whether you want to set it to your field or whether you want to add it to your hand. So now it's going to see if Nico has anything more to follow up with, and Allure of Darkness is a pretty good way to go. Being allowed to draw 2 cards from time, and that's going to be it with an Ash Blossom directly from Jordan. This is something you very need to take into account, that if your opponent only sets 1 card, they might have a lot, but there is going to be a triple tactics talents. We are seeing the play of the one-offs here. What do you take here, Alex?
Well, it looks like he's going for the draw. So, at least from my perspective, that means that maybe the rest of the cards in the hand aren't quite enough to be able to push through and create some interruptions here. What we're going to have to wait and see is just if there's another strong card. Oh, Drum on Lockbird there from Jordan, which, I mean, he didn't have a play to start the game off with, I guess. So this is kind of expected now, isn't it, really?
Yes, I think this is what makes the Dracotail kind of strategy very, very interesting, is when you open up a lot of these cards that aren't direct Dracotail themselves, Dracotail do rely on having multiple pieces. It's not just one Dracotail that allows you to kind of push further forward. Another thing here where we're going to be using March here is we've already used Dormouse's Banish effect to come back to the field. But it looks like we're going to be able to special summon a March here and then normal summon down a March here. Underdrawn Lockbird already played through an Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. It's going to be interesting to see how the Cyber strategy starts to build from this point on. And it looks like we're eyeing up the Haggard Lizard Dose.
Yes, so the Lizard Dose here just being able to essentially remove from play the March here, and then you'll be able to add it back to your hand, I guess, right? So we'll just have to see really if there's another way of extension here from Nico's side, just to kind of push into those ever so powerful link-free monsters that this, well, the Cyber strategy as a whole really encompasses, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Cybers are all based off of Link summoning mainly, and some of the cards we have in the game are absolutely amazing. One of the ones that I can see is the Heat Soul.
Yes.
Not the best Underdrawn Lockbird right now, but you can, of course, save it for your opponent's turn to pay 1,000 life points and draw an additional card. There's also a lot to consider, and I feel this is what really kind of sets duelists apart, is you now need to not only take into account what cards you have, but you also take into account what cards your opponent has. So Jordan went through turn number 1, wasn't able to present much of a field, so you have to try and process of elimination. Maybe there wasn't a Dracotail Lucaeus, maybe there wasn't a Fine-Mainer, or maybe there was a Fine-Mainer, but there just wasn't another Dracotail name. What could be the possible threat that Jordan could take off the top of his deck in order for him to start to build his field? And it looks like Nico, even though this field isn't as expansive as you might want to think from Malice, it could be as simple as this to keep pushing through, and Jordan being able to get that second Fallen and the Virtuous directly from the deck.
Or even going for Branded Fusion here, which is even scarier really when you're in Nico's shoes here, just seeing that Branded Fusion come down, as although Ash Blossom and Joy Spring is the best card into it, once you get past that, it's quite hard to really interact with these fusion monsters that will be getting special summoned here, especially if Jordan then now has 3 cards in the hand that could possibly allow that Brand of Fusion to get even more value, right?
Yeah, exactly that. And I think that Fallen of the Virtuous into Brand Fusion, I was so fixated on the second Fallen of the Virtuous, completely forgot that Brand Fusion even exists. But being able to see this is, yeah, we're being able to send the brand new Albaz, the Fallen of White, which is an incredible card we received in Burst Protocol. Such a good card for the strategy. And this is where you're going to be able to utilize the other Dracotail cards, because we're going to be able to get some more advantage here. For those of you unfamiliar with the Dracotail strategy, when they are sent to the graveyard as fusion material, they allow you to set another Dracotail spell or trap directly from the deck. So we could work for a Ketu, currently limited on the Forbidden Limited list, but also we can then work our way into maybe a Rahu Dracotail, which can just help extend the field even more. Nico is currently looking at one of his set cards here, which I believe is going to be Malice in the Mirror to stop the Albion extending that bit further.
So I think this is really, really strong here, just because, generally speaking, based on what else is happening here, there aren't too many pushes from Jordan here. You've just got the singular Rahu Dracotail set now. And if there is any way for Nico to kind of just like deal with that ever so slightly, then Jordan's going to be in for a little bit of a tough time. And then we do still have the March here as the follow-up, hopefully allowing for next turn to be a little bit more explosive, let's say. So we're going to see the Rahu played here, and looks like it is resolving, which is a very, very good sign for Jordan here.
Yeah, I feel there are very few cards. I think one card you might want to consider that Nico could have had, which Jordan would have already kind of played around. So Ash Blossom was one you mentioned earlier, but then also you need to take into account Dominus Impulse.
Yes.
Could be something that we could see in Nico's deck. And once Brand of Fusion kind of resolves, it gives you a bit more of a security and a bit more safety that you feel like these are going to resolve.
Yes,
it also
100%.
then dictates that Jordan probably has a Dracotail name in the hand. And as we've already said, the resource that the Dracotails can produce, being able to go from the graveyard, no matter how they get there, as long as they are sent via fusion materials, whether directly from the deck or from the hand or field, we're going to be able to set up a little bit more presence. And being able to send the Urgula as well is going to allow Jordan to deal with that set spell and trap alongside Nico's zones.
Exactly. So you're going to see a lot of chains being built up here from Jordan's side, just trying to gather some of those resources back, especially for, well, the Fallen, just being able to then make an even bigger push. And again, there's only really one unknown, I believe, left from Nico's side, being this spell and trap card, being the Forbidden Droplet here, which...
I think this is quite good, because this stops the resource loop back from Arfulion.
Yes.
It keeps Jordan, exactly as you was already mentioned it keeps Jordan off of the resource of maybe a 5 mana, but it also keeps off the resource for the Fallen and the White.
Yes.
And I think it was very good to watch what Jordan did there. Is Jordan was actually very, very clear in pointing out his chain links.
Yes.
Making it crystal clear what he was targeting, which chains he was resolving in which way. And that's kind of what we're looking at now. Going for that all-important Ketu. This one's going to allow Jordan to add a Dracotail monster from the deck to the hand. And if his opponent controls a current monster, he will be able to use it as fusion material, right? Yep.
It's very hard to just like follow up on that, I would say. I was going to come back straight into it. Looks like another card has been set on Jordan's side. So we know one is the Ketu, which will be in the middlemost column there, which, because there's a monster on Nico's side of the field, the Ketu is just absolutely like crazy right now, right?
Yeah, and this is what I love about Urgula as well. So being able to use the Dracotail Urgula in the graveyard, target a spellcaster in the graveyard, put the Urgula back to the bottom of the deck, and then add said spellcaster back to the hand. And he hasn't even normal summoned.
Exactly.
So normal summoning this Frixel right now is going to allow him to add back the 5 mana. 5 mana is such an incredible card as well. Being able to special summon it back to the field, but then add it back to the hand, which is kind of where you want it, unless he wants to go full-on aggression. It looks like we're probably going to flip this Ketu here. And because we have that 5 mana in the hand, as you've already mentioned, rather than losing any of your field presence here, you're going to be able to utilize the hand as the fusion material. So you'll probably add something like a Pan, or you're going to add something like a Lucaeus, maybe even that one Mululu. I feel that Pan will probably be the most ideal one here to clear off that Haggard Lizardos. And then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to probably settle the duel out here. It looks like we're going for Lucaeus, which is, again, an absolutely great add. We're just going to straight away fusion off using the Lucaeus and the Arfulion, going into the Secturion Dragon, which again is another incredibly good card. Being able to bring back target a dragon and a spellcast in the graveyard, put one back to the deck and summon the other back to the field. And that's exactly what we're going to see Jordan doing here. Like, this is why Jordan is at the top of his game right now. He is recycling these hand interactions in the form of Draw and Lockbird back into the deck. So Having 2 copies of Drawn Lockbird, ooh, not in branded Dracotail right
even
now.
more now.
He's going for free. Getting access to that Albaz fallen in white is just an incredible kind of synergistic play, and you are seeing one of the best duelists in the field right now this season.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to see this, the Ecclesia being summoned. We're going to then tribute it off, summon from the deck, go for the Fallen Albaz, and we're going to get the Fallen Albaz fusion effect, which I feel like every time I see Fallen Albaz in my hand, I'm like, oh. But I feel like nowadays, you can always just fusion summon for something really, really strong, being that Mirror Jade, which I think this is just going to seal the deal, right? Yeah,
I think the writing's on the field there from this one. From Jordan.
Exactly. So I'm expecting Nico to start off here, and those are some very strong cards in the hand for Nico. We won't spoil it all until he slaps them down.
Yeah.
But then we're just going to have to see if there's a really, really strong way to start the game off as well. I'm going to see the Allure of Darkness to start off.
I'm really hoping that the first card in his hand is a Dark Monster, because it definitely looks like there one is. But he got the Dormouse straight off of Allure. Wow. Okay. So now we're going to see a chain being built, maybe. Dormouse hits the field. There's no Drawn Lockbird. There's no Ash Blossom. Nico is probably feeling very, very comfortable here. But as we already mentioned, just because Jordan does not activate anything from his hand right now, that doesn't mean he doesn't have the powerful Go Second cards, which is going to be very interesting to see. So using the Dormouse, we're going to be banishing the White Rabbit directly from the deck. As you mentioned, Dormouse is probably one of your favorite main deck Malice monsters, but I'm quite partial to White Rabbit.
I think White Rabbit is... I like the way that it gives you access to the trap cards, and then the trap cards just give you that ability to just really defeat any interruption your opponent may have, just because of how they're going to be able to be activated during that first turn, right? But for Nico's side, at least being a little bit more analytical, say, you could kind of tell there's no Molcharmy potentially.
Yes.
Because I would have assumed that if there's a Perulia, that's getting hit straight as soon as the turn starts. Then a Fuelos, again, maybe you're going to wait until after that Dormouse resolves, most likely speaking. But again, I feel like that would have come down right around now. So from at least where Nico stands, I think you're in quite a happy position right now. But I'm really hoping we see that spell card get played ever so quickly. That's what I want to see right now. And I want to see Jordan's reaction to that as well.
Yeah, well, knowing Jordan, the duelist that he is, you probably won't see much emotion in that phase. Very, very good. Stern lock, no emotions coming down from this one. He is taking everything in. You can see that the clogs are turning in his head of what play he needs to make to be able to kind of analyze every step of this field. We know that we've already used the Graveyard effect of the White Rabbit. We've already used the Banish effect of the White Rabbit. We've used the Banish effect of the Dormouse. We've now got the Agnistar Wizard, which is going to allow to extend the field a little bit more, which is definitely something Nico was missing in duel number 1. Jordan is just reading the Wicked right there to see the trigger effects and how everything else needs to be done. Just confirming that he needs to banish the Dormouse in order to resolve that. And it's going to be quite interesting to see where you push from here. So Heat Soul was one that we mentioned in duel number 1, being able to get additional draw power and a bit more advantage that way.
Yep.
I would say, correct me if you feel otherwise, but you ideally want to get that Heart's Crypt on the field. Heart's Crypt is still such an incredibly powerful card for the Malice strategy.
At least from where I sit, I think you kind of want to cycle through both of the available Malice Link Freeze here at some point throughout the combo. And depending on where Nico decides to go, you're either trying to aim for like a Heat Soul line, where you're going to keep that on the field, you're going to get additional draw during your opponent's turn, or maybe going a little bit more aggressive and going for that Allied Code Talker as well, just to set up that additional layer of interaction.
Yeah.
Going for the Red Ransom here to add, is that Malice in the Underground?
Yeah,
I believe
straight into Underground on this one. Being able to activate that is going to get direct access to one of the missing Malice names, which will be the March Hare, I believe, at this moment in time. Maybe even the Chessy Cat if he's got another. I believe he's got a March Hare.
I think there might be a March Hare already in the hand. So
Chessy Cat to draw even more. Allure of Darkness 2.0.
Well, I think that one of the benefits of the Malice strategy over some of the other decks currently in the format really is you see so many cards, and although you're only sliding into like singular copies of maybe cards like Rivalry Warlords or Anti-Spell Fragrance, you just see those additional cards every single turn, and then you've got the chance to draw into cards like Allure of Darkness.
Yes.
You see 2 more additional cards, and I think that's just such a benefit, really, and that would make me want to play a deck like Malice, really, this format, just having that ability to see even more of your main deck. And I think that's such a strength that it can be overlooked at times where you're able to go in, kind of pluck out all the cards you want. But if you're able to just draw additional cards, it's always such a nice feeling.
Yeah, exactly that. These just kind of enhance your current field presence, enhance your current like position in this duel. Like we've already said, Nico is one duel down, so you're going to need to fight as much as you can in order to kind of put Jordan on, not so much on the ropes on this one, because again, no emotion coming from Jordan there. He's like, yes, seen this before, I've got this one. But I think we are going to be watching very, very closely to see what happens when specific cards are activated from Nico's hand. But it does look like he's piloting this Malice deck very, very well. And it does also highlight, like you mentioned when we were talking about the side decks, one of the biggest counters to Malice was, of course, Artifact Lancer, which a lot of people will, rightly so, are probably not putting in their side decks right now. So that's one less thing you need to worry about as a Malice duelist. And then being able to keep pushing this field through. I feel we might possibly see the Alloy Code Talker plus Hearts Cryptor. Oh, there's the Nibiru, though.
Primal being played here, which I think is... it's one of those choices that I think this is the hardest deck to play Nibiru against, at least from my opinion. I'm always like, is this the correct moment, or do I need to wait an extra action, 2 actions? But I think Jordan got it at a very good spot here, where the Hearts Cryptor, also the Red Ransom, apologies, had already been used.
Yep.
And I think that's just such a strong point to kind of interrupt Nico's turn here.
Yeah, and we're going to see triple tactic talents again. Okay. What do you go for now? Do we go for the draw? Do we go for the hand knowledge?
I am stealing that hand away.
Yeah.
I'm getting rid of the best cards there.
That's exactly what we're going for.
And is that the Fallen and the Virtuous there?
Fallen and the Virtuous, Rahu Dracotail, Albaz the Fallen and White, and a Cartasia.
I want Nico without any second of thought just to get rid of the Fallen and the Virtuous here. That is exactly what I want to be gone.
It does make it a little bit tricky to deal with that token, bar being able to push through. Rahu Dracotail doesn't do anything right now. He's gone straight for the Fallen Virtuous. You've read it exactly right.
I think just where Nico's hand is sat as well.
Yes, very, very strong.
A couple of very, very, very strong continuous cards in the hand there.
Yes.
And just if Nico's just able to push just that little bit extra, then I think being able to utilize those to their fullest ability is just where the game's going to end. And we will see that pivotal game 3.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with you. Some of these cards that I'm looking at in Nico's hand, we're going for the march here. So this is quite interesting because at this moment in time, that Nibiru token is quite threatening. And normally, when you give your opponent a Nibiru token, more times than not, you're ready to play a card like Fallen and the Virtuous.
Yes.
You have a direct out. You know what you're going to do to get rid of that particular card. Now in this kind of position, Nico probably wants to, like, would you want to try and keep it? Because of the high attack stats it possibly has right now, is the temptation worth it?
Oh, he has a normal summoned. I forgot about this. Yeah, this is really, really strong now. Just being able to get an additional card into the hand. Any of the Cyburst cards, really. I think for me, where I'm sitting with watching Nico play, I kind of want you to get into a decently sized Cyburst monster.
Yep.
Something that is ever so slightly bigger than that Nibiru. Oh no, sorry. Don't want to go bigger than Nibiru. I do not want to go higher than that Nibiru attack. Because based on the cards that are available, it looks like you want to force Jordan to keep that Nibiru the Primal Being on the field. Yep. And we're going to see just where Nico's really going from here. Because, at least from, again, where I'm sitting, there aren't too many extra ways to extend right now, right? He's used all 4 of the Malice names from the main deck, and that Red Ransom has also been used, as well as both of the Cyburst extenders that are traditionally within the deck. So it's just really now where we're going to go. And that looks like that's going to be the Hearts Cryptor now.
Yeah. I think this is quite a good play, though, because with Hearts Cryptor, if Nico wants to, he could deal with this Nibiru right here, right now.
Yep.
Oh, is this Jordan can...
Oh, no, I think it's just a
refresh of the hand. Okay, very interesting there. So are we going to Hearts Cryptor to get rid of the Nibiru now?
It's not the worst play because it does just ensure that I guess you're just worried about cards, right?
Yeah,
you just want to ensure that that card is not going to be on the field. That's something you have to think about next time.
Here it comes there, the Dimension Fissure.
There was a little reaction there from Jordan.
Looking at that hand now. Albaz Fallen and White, Cartasia. Whoa, I'm trying to figure, so that hand right now, if he top decks a Dracotail name, I mean, the Rahu would have been really, really nice prior to the Dimension Fissure.
But again, just looking at what Jordan does have there, it's not like he's completely
No,
out of
not
options.
at all.
And I think that's one of the benefits here is he's still also playing cards like Harpy Feather Duster, which, please, for Jordan, draw it off the top.
He kind of wants. I mean, even not taking into account the other set card that Nico has.
Yes.
The normal summon of Cartesier is quite tempting because the Cartesier has that ability to quick effect fusion. We're going to be going for the Albaz in white. This is going to be quite interesting to see because Nico now has the control of what we're going to do, and it is exactly that. We're going to lock Jordan down to dragons on this one, while Nico himself is locked down into Cyverse. Not something negative for Nico on that one. The question is, does Jordan have anything to chain to this activation? It looks like he drew a monster for turn.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, it wouldn't feel awful, but if you have one and not the other to deal with, you can. I feel like you can handle one.
Yeah,
but both of them together, very, very scary situation for Jordan here. But nevertheless, he is going to continue trying to force his way through here, activating that Rahu
Dracotail. He did draw Dracotail for turn.
Wow. This is going to allow you to fusion summon, right? So you can make the... Is it Arphalion? Do you think
so you'd have to go for Arphalion on this one. He should still be able to target. So we can target the cards... Is the new... Oh, the Shulas is also a dragon.
It is, but the only issue with this one is it kind of needs the cards in the graveyard, whereas the Arphalion will be able to kind of deal with it, but maybe an option. But I think the Arphalion here is just going to try and get rid of that Heart's Cryptor. And it does feel like it's very much an uphill battle here for Jordan, especially the second that Dimensional Fissure was played down from Nico. Just being able to kind of limit the value that you're really getting from the Dracotail cards, right? Because maybe a Fusion Summon, that's okay. But a Fusion Summon where you get 1 to 2 additional cards, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. That.
Trying to feel if there's any way to... Because remember, what makes Branded so good is it can fuse using the Banish Zone as well.
Yes, for definite.
So that kind of setup wouldn't be the worst case. But it does look like we're going to Arphalion. I think you might be right on this one. Arphalion being able to target... target 1? Yeah, he's going directly for the Heart's Cryptor on this one. Which I don't think is the worst way to go for it, because you don't want Heart's Cryptor to hit the graveyard. You don't want Heart's Cryptor to be able to kind of recycle itself back around. I feel that the Heart's Cryptor goes here. There's no way that doesn't leave the field of play. And then we've got the Arphalion going in directly, and then you also have the Albaz Fallen of White to also go directly. I suppose the question becomes, I think Nico is probably eyeing up a March Hare in his hand. Is it a March Hare? No,
it's a March Hare. I think the March Hare, you just kind of want to hold on to it right now, because the other thing is, Jordan isn't actually threatening the game as well. But we are going to see it being played down here. Which name do you reckon will get removed?
I would definitely go for the White Rabbit, because at least with the White Rabbit, you're paying that life points, it comes back, it gives you a bit more defense, but then it also gives you the option to grab one of those trap cards directly from the deck, which you don't need to use it on this exact turn if you don't want to. You can obviously save it for your next turn. Probably going to be looking at the MTP07. Not too sure what you would search off of that, though, because... Oh, no, Dormouse is back in the deck, so technically you could search out the Dormouse. That would be a good way to get your starter going. And you've already kind of limited Jordan's interactions during your turn. Jordan only has, I believe, 1 card left in his hand. He's currently locked under Dimension Fissure and Rivalry of the Warlords. So both of them are really going to limit the presence that Jordan can put onto his field. And I suppose the question that kind of comes to Jordan's mind is, and one thing you've always got to take into account is looking at that clock. Now, 23 minutes does seem like a very, very long time. But if that hill gets steeper and steeper to climb, at some point you're better off just turning back around and starting again. Refresh yourself. And this is going to be quite interesting to see. So there's the MTP07. This is going to allow, technically if Nico wanted to, he could activate this turn, banish a Malice monster, and then grab himself the Dormouse directly from the deck. I'm slightly tempted to save it, I feel.
I think I'd be very confident just saving that this turn, and then...
Yeah, because your cards are going to get banished anyway under Dimension Fissure.
So you'll get the
March Hare back
to your hand, which I think is just such a good resource again, because it's kind of like the Bestials in the deck, right?
Yes.
Post turn 1, you're very happy just to have one of these cards in your hands that will remove any resource from your graveyard. Get it gone, and it will come straight back, won't it? And I think that's just kind of what we're going to see from Jordan now, is it's it's an uphill battle here.
Yeah, so it looks like it was a pass turn from Jordan. We've drawn what looks to be like a Malice white rabbit from the deck. And as you've already mentioned, the March Hare being able to banish from the graveyard directly. I think Jordan's
realised there's not much.
Yeah.
To your cards, it's just forcing them to play it out there and then, and you kind of know exactly what else is going on. So looks like Jordan will be starting.
Yep. Nico is probably praying that he gets one for the a start like he did in game one. Game one, yeah. Oh, Fulos hitched directly with the Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. No drawing for Nico right now.
And again, this is one of my favorite things about... Oh, and a Brand of Fusion straight afterwards. One of my favorite things about this Dracotail deck, and why I would consider playing it for an event as prestigious as this, is anytime you use any of your hand interruptions, you just get to add them straight back with your Alphalion, right? And I think that is so unique. It's not something that you see all the time. You see a little bit like Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf can add back an Ash Blossom.
Yes.
But being able to have such a wide range of tools, I think is why not only Jordan has been playing this entire season, but why he's seen such great success with it as well, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly that. And we're seeing the power of Branded Fusion on this one. Jordan instantly knows the threat that Fulos would have presented here, because straight away we would have been giving Nico at least one draw off the back of the Branded Fusion, but I would be very amazed that if Dracotail would only fuse once, and that's exactly why we're going to be seeing that Dracotail Fire Maynard being added directly to the hand. It looks like he's also opened up the Dracotail Rahu as well. So we're going to see a lot of fusion plays here from Jordan. Nico is going to try and do his best to either stop that happening or try and break that field afterwards, bringing that field apart, trying to deal with those spells and traps that are definitely going to be set from the, well, more so probably the trap cards from the Dracotail strategy themselves, then also trying to deal with those monsters that Jordan is going to present on the field as well. And one of them we're going to see right now is Arfulion. So Jordan is going to build his chains clearly and correctly here. And straight away we are seeing Arfulion eyeing up that Fallen of White. Very easy trying to get that one back to the hand. The card is so incredibly good from Burst Protocol. Very, very nice to see that. It not only enhance the branded strategy, but also being able to enhance the Dracotail strategy as well.
Yeah, and I think just really here, one little key thing I've pointed out is he has not used the Albion effect to fusion summon here.
Correct.
So he's very like conservative that I will add back the Fallen of White, and I will use that as part of my turn here. And I'm just really interested to see what that Albion really gets used for now. Is it going to maybe go towards a Secretarian or what another play here?
So these are the decisions that I really feel separate duelists.
Yes.
So you saw Jordan there contemplating. He knew instantly he wanted the Fire Maynard. Fire Maynard was the guaranteed target. But then it was Ash Blossom for an interaction, or it was the Fallen and White for extension. He's decided to go for the interaction of Ash Blossom, and we already saw a card in Nico's hand, which is going to be very interesting to see. And I feel that Jordan might actually just end his turn here on what we see. I think this is quite enough. Like, Fire Maynard getting the fuse, that's fine. Working our way into a Secturion Dragon. Secturion Dragon is going to get the Albaz in White back from the graveyard quite possibly. So this just kind of shows you getting that Ash Blossom back. He's like, don't worry, I'll get the Fallen and the White later on.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the strength here is now, obviously you don't need to summon that Fallen and White from the hand, right?
Correct.
You don't need to send that Albion. It's already there. It's already set up exactly where it wants it to be.
Oh, Bestial Druid Swarm. Very, very good here. Nice interaction. Now, this is quite an interesting one. Do you get rid of the target, which what Jordan wants to bring back, or do you get rid of the Albin? He's gone for the Albin. He does not want that Fallen. I completely understand that Fallen the Virtuous. Having that enter the field of play while we already have all of this is going to be quite powerful. But we've got Dracotail Sting, Dracotail Horn, and Dracotail Flame as well. Jordan's showing exactly why this strategy is so good right now.
So was the Secretarian Dragon activated just yet, or is it?
I believed it was.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. But I guess we are going to use the Urgula to get back to 5 mana. It just feels like he's got every single piece of the puzzle right now, doesn't it? And we're just going to see maybe that the last couple of pieces be included here as well. So if that Fallen White comes back, it will summon an Ecclesia from the deck.
Yeah.
And again, I guess that also does just generate another interruption, right? For the potential to go into that Fallen White Albaz.
Yeah, I think that's what Jordan wants to do. So it does look like the Centurion wasn't activated earlier. He's currently eyeing up the Fallen on the White, Albaz the Fallen on the White, and I can't quite see the other card. It's not the Lucius.
Was it maybe it is the Ecclesia?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. That explains a little bit. So the Ecclesia goes back to the deck. We're now going to use the Fallen on the White to get that Ecclesia back from the deck to the field of play. Okay. So remember as well that Nico's already used 2 interactions from his hand. So we've got 3 more cards in our hand, 1 card to be drawn for turn. Just doing the simple maths trade-off. You've got Flame for one of them. You possibly have Horn for the other.
Yep.
We already know that Jordan recycled that Ash Blossom, so that's for the 3rd interaction. It's going to be quite interesting to see what else Nico has to try and disrupt Jordan's field right now.
And then we've even got the really powerful one of just the tagging out into the Albaz.
Yes.
Gets a sneaky little fusion summon in on your opponent's turn from Jordan's side, as well as the Phimera. It feels like there's a lot going on here for Jordan, and I think anytime you see the Dracotail player get to all 3 of the trap cards, you know you're in for a long game trying to break through that.
So Nico draws for turn. Not a bad draw for turn, actually, on this one. So we've got a very good starter in the form of what looks like the Malice White Rabbit, so that might enter the field of play. But remember, as soon as something enters the field of play, and this is what I quite like about the White Rabbit over Dormouse, is Dormouse enters the field of play, you can't really set it, you have to normal summon it. But it doesn't do anything right then and there. Whereas the White Rabbit goes instantly, okay, I'll grab you the trap card. Even if I leave the field, I'll leave you with a little something, okay? It looks like there is the backup Agonista in that hand as well. We're just waiting for these cards to be played, but it looks like the next ones to happen is exactly going to be the backup Agonista as the normal summon of choice.
I think this is the best play, and I think it's the best play if you think Jordan will never Ash Blossom this. And unfortunately, that is exactly what Jordan's gone for.
Let's not go for 1. We're going to go for 2. Fully understand this, because the other thing that Nico could have done there is once that backup Agonista sticks, you could turn it into the Lingaribo, and the Lingaribo then instantly answers one of those trap cards along Jordan's spell and trap zones.
Yes, 100% agree with this. I think you just have to activate the Flame here.
Yeah, I think if you didn't save the Ash for that, you're definitely going to be doing that. And that's the other benefit of putting the Horn there. Is this is one strategy that a lot of Dracotail players want to use, is they want to make sure that they recycle the first trap with the second, and you recycle the second trap with the third, and then you kind of go back around in that circle so that if the game state does present itself to be a little bit more fought out and back and forth, you have those trap cards to constantly keep resourcing yourself back around with.
And I think that's one of the things that the players on the opposing side take advantage of a lot of the time as well, right? They try and hold those interruptions to kind of stop that resource loop continuing and the cards going back from the graveyard into the deck. The other thing is you draw a card every time. And again, that's just kind of fuels the flame here, right?
Yes.
And we're going to see that crushing there to then get rid of another card.
Yeah, so it looks like we did the Druid Swarm, ran into either the Arfulion or the Septurion, and then used the Druid Swarm to send the Septurion Dragon. Jordan's turn now, being able to activate that Rahu Dracotail. This is going to, I feel, unless there's an interaction from Nico here, this is probably going to be the final kind of monster entering the field of play right now.
Yeah, I very much agree on that one, especially because depending on where Jordan goes again, you've got like a little bit of access to make a little bit of like remove almost, right? If there was ever a way for like a more of a branded play as well, then you can like kind of push there. But I think if you just like go for like a Grugamel here, that's probably good enough, right? Just to kind of seal the rest of this game off. Yeah,
well, it looks like he's going full out. He's going for the big guy right here. There's that Fenrir. Going straight into the Arfulion. Arfulion is now going to recycle some materials from resource here. So we're going to be able to recycle 2 materials from the graveyard, one of them being the Ash Blossom. He is not letting the Ash Blossom go. And it looks like we've got the Phimera. Urgler still has the ability to recycle a spellcaster from the graveyard as well. Not sure whether that's needed or not. Going for the Ketu, going back for that Horn. Currently on the field of play, we have 3,000 damage from the first Arfulion, 3,000 from the second, and then we've got the Ecclesia, which I believe is 1,500, and then Albaz Fallen in White is also 1,500. So a fair amount here, and I feel that Jordan, quite like how Jordan dropped the Nibiru on Nico during duel number 2, he probably has that in the back of his mind, like, no need to get too greedy. We've got the resource along the spell and trap zones. Okay, I take it back. I take it back. I'm going Brand Diffusion. I think he just wants to show off the ultimate rare, to be honest.
Maybe. I feel like looking at Jordan's deck right now, it all feels ever so shiny looking down at it. But I think, I guess the thing is here, you've seen one Bestial, so maybe you just want to ensure that the game is over, no matter what right now. And only on summon number 2 as well, so we've got a little bit of respect towards the potential Nibiru as well.
Yeah.
Going for that Mirror Jade, which, again, deals with any monster that may come out.
And I think that's it. There's the fist bump. Jordan Gallagher on his way to retain